So Volunteer Leader of the Year 2023. As Matt said, let's celebrate you. Hi everybody, welcome to our 6th Heritage Volunteer Group Volunteer Leader of the Year Awards. These conferences every year just get better and better. Thanks for the introduction, Rhiannon. I'm going to make sure I can move my slide on. Great, thank you. So I'm Amanda Hanton. I'm the Volunteering and Cultural Participation Manager for Leicestershire County Council Museum, Heritage and Library Services. And I sit on the National HVG Advisory Group, and I set up and chair the regional HVG for the East Midlands. So if there's any East Midlands volunteer leaders, managers out there, then make sure that you get in touch and join our group. I've been a volunteer leader in the heritage sector for 25 years. And a member of my team, Nicola Levin, was the first ever winner of Volunteer Leader of the Year. And as I said in my presentation last year, it really paved the way for significant strategic changes and new commitments in favour of cultural volunteering in our department and across the county council, which I will always be grateful for. And this award is massively close to my heart because of that, and I've been lucky enough to be welcomed into the HVG family ever since. So our focus for this year's conference is volunteering for everyone. And as Matt highlighted when we started the day, it can be if the scenario is right. Nominations have been put forward for volunteer leaders, ranging from those who are managing 4 volunteers in intense research projects to those who are supporting 200 volunteers in their first year after graduating, to those who are managing over 1,000 volunteers across multiple sites. And as Stuart from Volunteer Island in my workshop just said, it was a great term and I had to use it. It was from the big nationals to the kitchen table. It's always great to see that there's a nod to people volunteering outside and on top of the role they're nominated for. And it makes us here at HVG who do this as volunteers feel even more part of a big family. Nominations came from volunteers themselves, nominating their managers, from management committees, from colleagues, and from heritage volunteer regional networks. They came from volunteer leaders working in a country park and reservoir with working water mills to a live airfield, a charity dedicated to preserving and celebrating the world's first tunnel constructed under a navigable river, to a restored 19th century windmill. Our nominees came from charities, local authorities, Arts Council England, volunteer, future funded projects, trusts, the full spectrum. So this award celebrates the very essence of excellence in volunteer leadership. It focuses on 3 key themes: innovation, collaboration, and passion. Innovation, we were looking for projects and activities that improve the practice of volunteer engagement, horizon scanning, problem solving, learning from others' success, creating a new idea from within and applying it. Collaboration, working with others to create outstanding or transformative volunteer experiences. How volunteer leaders define these, how they have built new relationships within and beyond their organisation, beyond the sector, and managed and sustained them. And collaboration, working with others to create outstanding, transformative volunteer experiences. How volunteer leaders have built new relationships within and beyond their organisation, beyond their sector, and managed and sustained these. For passion, it was going about beyond what could reasonably be expected for somebody leading and managing volunteers. So here are our shortlisted leaders. All the nominations, without exception, highlighted expressions such as excellent leaders, brilliant listeners, infectious enthusiasm, caring, knowledgeable, visible, and astute in their guidance. This year, the nominations moved away from celebrating leaders supporting sites and services to stay open, relevant, and accessible, and focused on ability to leverage experiences, cultivate and propel opportunities, help realize the potential of organizations, and support the development of lasting and meaningful partnerships. Now, this is the first year I've seen a real shift in the focus with the nominations of our heritage volunteer leaders towards being part of strategic development. The nominations show that our unique expertise, skills, and experience is being deployed throughout the heritage sector in more forward-thinking ways. We are really becoming a force to be reckoned with and well known for being able to skillfully juggle multifaceted roles. We bend and we flex and we champion and we advocate. And now it seems we're becoming pivotal to the future of the organisations we choose to support. Chris was very clear in his keynote speech that we need to challenge conventional wisdom to be taken seriously in strategic contributions, that the future of volunteering needs a shift in mindset, and we as leaders need to steer the sector to recognise volunteering beyond mere sentiment by enabling, supporting, demonstrating, sharing tangible contributions to organisational aims. The nominations for this year's volunteer leader highlight that we are well on the way to doing just that, and in exciting and clever ways. If these nominations are indicative and reflective of our sector, we are finding our much needed seat at the table. And in turn, decision makers are realising the power of volunteering through the work that we do. Let's celebrate our nominees, and in doing so, celebrate the extensive network of people and organisations we are part of, and some of the excellence which is happening to build our heritage volunteering future. So Arabella Lawler is celebrated for showing effective leadership by listening, understanding, and being passionate about the people she is supporting at the Auckland Project in County Durham. Her strategic collaboration skills ensure the community of volunteers have what is needed for them to feel part of the team. Paul Filburn is recognised for initiating and developing community and corporate partnerships at Worsborough Mill, Barnsley Museums. An example is Paul's Have a Go sessions, which have meant over 30 young people with special educational needs and disabilities have tried volunteering in outdoor space for the first time, tapping into volunteering as a vehicle for learning outside the classroom. Robert Kierl is recognised for his role in supporting volunteers to successfully propel the mission of the Brunel Museum in London forward. Robert has established comprehensive training programmes and empowered volunteers to assume new, different and varied roles within the museum. He has been nominated because his dedication, leadership and ability to cultivate a cohesive and supportive volunteer team have been nothing short of exceptional. Green's Windmill in Nottingham are hugely grateful to have Jamie Duff, balancing the need for conservation with the desires of communities, demands on time and rising costs. Jamie continues to conjure new and innovative ways to augment productivity with matched efficiency in his volunteers. Vicky Williams from the Imperial War Museum, Duxford, is celebrated for being a strong female role in a male-dominated world of aviation and conservation. Her work is a driving force for change. She has overcome challenges, particularly gaining respect, overcoming criticism and adverse comments by driving out unconscious bias in a non-judgmental way. Rachel Nizzi has significantly developed volunteer skill sets, built their confidence, offered guidance and opportunities, and not least enabled volunteers to produce real, impactful results for the Jewish Museum in London. Sam Clift introduced a new 5-year volunteering strategy at the London Transport Museum. He took the lead in putting the volunteer voice at the heart of the strategy, so it would be meaningful, achievable and reflective of volunteer needs. Stephen Hoyle and Hannah O'Toole are valued gallery maintenance team volunteer supervisors for the engine care roles at the Science and Industry Museum, Manchester. They've been crucial in working with the volunteer management team to support opportunities to bridge the STEM skills gap in Manchester. And Alex Fitzpatrick, National Science and Media Museum Scotland, helped create a volunteer-led digitisation to citizen science toolkit. An example of this is when Alex navigated the internal processes of the Science Museum Group to support the ambitions of volunteers working on the Windrush project, so they could advocate for the stories that they were finding in their own work. So before we actually eventually get down to it, I would like to thank our judges. Judges this year have been Chris Wade, Managing Director, Time for Impact, and our keynote speaker. Catherine, who is the Project and Volunteer Manager, Heritage Access 22, and also the 2022 winner, who you'll remember from last year, and Nicola Levin, our Participation Manager at Leicestershire County Council and the 2018 winner. Before I share the winner, I'm delighted to announce that the judges decided to select 2 highly commended volunteer leaders this year on top of the winner, and they will receive £25 vouchers of their choice. It's just a small token of our congratulations. So highly commended. First, but in no order. Alex Fitzpatrick from the National Science and Media Museum. Well done, Alex. And highly commended, Paul Filburn from Worsborough Mill, Barnsley Museum. Well done, Paul. Absolutely amazing. As the winner of Volunteer of the Year 2022, and of course one of this year's judges, I'd now like to invite Catherine to announce our 2023 winner.
Thanks, Amanda. It's been a real joy to be to have been named the Heritage Leader of the Year last year. It's been a really kind of great conversation starter across the sector, and has been something that I've been recognised for when meeting people kind of at conferences and things. So I've been really grateful to hold the position. It was also a real honour to be invited to, along with my other fellow judges, be the team to choose this year's winner. It sounds very trite to say it, but it was incredibly difficult. All of the nominations were fantastic, and came from such different areas of the sector that I think we had a real a good look at kind of the state of the sector at the moment and all the amazing work that is being done. That being said, it was difficult to choose just one, and we had a lot of conversation about who we thought was worthy of everyone's worthy, but who we thought stood out to us the most. And it is my delight to announce that this year's winner is Sam Clift from the London Transport Museum. Sam has done absolutely fantastic work with the local community, and also in particularly listening to their volunteers and expanding their volunteer programme, and we were just really impressed with everything that they've done. So thank you so much, Sam, and we were absolutely delighted to make you the winner this year.
Well done, Sam. Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you. It's amazing to have been nominated, let alone to have won. I'd have to say when I first got the news, I was quite emotional about it because I kind of feel like we've been on a long journey with volunteer management and our volunteers over the last few years. And quite often, I'm sure, like many people, you can feel like, you know, you're in a bit of an echo chamber, and you're working with your volunteers day to day on the ground. And a lot of people don't get to see the work that you're doing or understand all the complexities of what goes on. And many of which I know I've heard over the last sort of day or so in this conference with how multi-skilled leaders and managers of volunteers have to be in marketing, promotion, advocacy, logistics, time management, all those kind of things, recruitment, you know, the list really does go on. So there's so much that does go, I think, unseen. And I've certainly been going on a bit of a journey over the last few years of having to really try and introduce some incremental change to internally to really advocate volunteering and you know, make sure that teams and departments are aware of the value of the work that volunteers bring and the support that they give to so many aspects of what we do. You know, our headcount, you know, we've got way over double the amount of volunteers than we have staff at London Transport Museum, and across 3 sites as well. So the amount of time and energy that goes in from volunteers is just phenomenal, really. And I'm sure everybody has their story of that as well. But certainly a lot of that incremental change is internally, and that advocacy is I suppose really what's led me here, perhaps, to a degree, and a lot of that is stuff that I've been pushing, and I've been keen to make sure that you know, to be that I'm that champion of volunteering, and I you know, I need to kind of bang that drum and make people aware of the work that's going on. And we've introduced different working groups with volunteers. We've introduced all kinds of work. And I mean, to be nominated by senior leadership for this in itself, for me personally, speaks huge volumes of how far we've come. You know, only 6 years ago, we only had one volunteer coordinator role, and now we've got a team, we have funding, we have investments. You know, we're at the table now when it comes to you know, managing and leading on change within our organization, and certainly something that a place I never imagined we'd get to not that long ago, really. And so is it okay if I just say a few words about the nomination? Okay. So the volunteering strategy that we've introduced this year was actually a renewal, and I was really keen that we learned some lessons from the first time around in making sure that we actually can make the strategy achievable. And as mentioned, that the volunteer voice really sort of at the heart of that and runs through it. And so we managed to get the Friends of London Transport Museum to fund the work, and we brought in a consultant, Laura Hamilton, who's known in the sector and has been fantastic to work with. And it's allowed us to really focus on that consultation work. And we did a huge piece of work around bringing volunteers into workshops and hearing about their thoughts and experiences and what they felt that we needed to invest in. And we then took that to management, and then we then took that to senior leadership to work that up. So rather than it being a kind of top-down strategy of what our senior leaders want us to focus on, it's a strategy that focuses on what volunteers want to see in that change going forward. So so that's been really, really positive. And we've been doing a lot of work as well around working with disabled groups and audiences in volunteering over the last couple of years. And we're introducing volunteers with disabilities across mainstream roles across our sites. And it's small scale at the moment, but it's something that we're really scaling up, and is having a huge impact on the people that we work with. And we're working more closely now with parents and carers, support groups, and our volunteer buddies, and developing that infrastructure there. And we've also got, if I can do a slight plug, we've also got we're introducing an access advisory group for volunteering very soon as well. So we're recruiting for a chair at the moment. So if anyone knows someone who would be really interested in getting involved in some of the work that we're doing, then I'd love to hear from them. But it kind of speaks to the investments that we're making and the support behind what we're doing. And there's a longevity to the work that we're doing as well. It's, you know, we're not thinking short term. We're not thinking project based. We're thinking about how we can really integrate and develop the culture of volunteering at London Transport Museum. So I'm really excited and very happy and very humbled that I've been nominated and that I've won, and that the HVG committee of you know, really see the value in what we're doing. It's, you know, in my decade or more of time at London Transport Museum and in volunteer management, I've never won anything. So it's you know, I'm kind of surprisingly lost for words with what to say about that. But all I can say is thank you to everybody for seeing the work that we're doing and what we're trying to achieve.
Oh, thank you so much, Sam, and huge congratulations. I mean, can we clap? Can people unmute and clap? Is that possible in this forum? I'm going to clap for you anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. That's really appreciated. Thank you.
Just to let you know as well, as a small token, you will receive £100 high street vouchers and an hour's one-to-one consultation with our volunteering expert and HVG executive board member Rob. So Rob Jackson, it's a chance for you to indulge in development totally based on your choice. So obviously, thanks for that, Rob. Thank you to everybody who nominated, everybody who promoted the awards, everybody who was here at the conference celebrating excellence in volunteering across our sector. Sam, Alex and Paul, you are a total credit to the sector and the profession. And please, if you're watching this here, nominate next year, because it's an amazing opportunity to celebrate not just individual volunteer leaders, but also your organisation. Thank you. Back to Rhiannon.